When the future chooses your opponents, can you choose your fate? That's the razor-sharp question at the heart of Edgar Wright's 2025 sci-fi thriller, The Running Man. Known for his kinetic direction and visual wit, Wright takes on a high-stakes survival story infused with social commentary and pulse-pounding action. With a screenplay co-written by Stephen King and Michael Bacall, this film promises a fresh blend of dystopian grit and sharp character work. It's not just another action flick. It's a tense exploration of spectacle, desperation, and defiance in a media-obsessed world. Today on Cut to Reel, we're diving deep into how The Running Man crafts its vision of survival, identity, and control through direction, performance, and story. The Running Man places us in a near-future society obsessed with violent entertainment, where Ben Richards, a blue-collar dad, desperate to save his sick daughter, is pushed into a lethal game show. The genre mix here is clear: action and thriller wrapped in sci-fi dystopia. Released theatrically with a strong marketing push, the film rides the current wave of socially conscious genre films that critique our media consumption and societal divides. It's not a sequel or reboot. It stands on its own but taps into familiar territory of survival games and televised violence. Against the backdrop of streaming giants and franchise fatigue, The Running Man aims to combine visceral thrills with a story about fighting back against systemic control. Edgar Wright's directorial style is all about precision and energy. Known for his rapid-fire editing and playful visual flourishes in films like Baby Driver and Last Night in Soho, Wright here balances kinetic action with grounded emotional beats. The film's composition likely uses tight framing to emphasize Ben's claustrophobic entrapment, while wide shots underscore the sprawling spectacle of the deadly competition. Color palettes probably swing between cold, clinical grays in the control rooms and saturated, almost garish hues in the game zones, highlighting the contrast between the manufactured spectacle and human cost. Camera movement is dynamic but purposeful, tracking shots to follow the chase, quick cuts to heighten tension, all grounded in a rhythm that keeps the audience on edge without losing track of the characters. Editing is another Wright hallmark, and in The Running Man, it probably serves to sharpen the pulse-pounding sequences without sacrificing narrative clarity. Action scenes are likely tightly choreographed, blending visceral combat with strategic cat-and-mouse moments. The tension builds not just from physical danger, but from the media spectacle itself, which Wright visually underscores with intercutting between the game's broadcast and behind-the-scenes machinations. This layering of viewpoints adds complexity without clutter. Wright's direction here turns what could be a standard survival thriller into a commentary on spectacle, using visual style to reinforce theme. Glenn Powell leads as Ben Richards, bringing the kind of charismatic grit he's known for, balancing toughness with vulnerability, essential for rooting us in this desperate fight. Josh Brolin, often commanding in morally ambiguous roles, likely anchors the ruthless producer character with a mix of charm and menace. Michael Cera's presence hints at sharp, possibly sardonic support, creating a tonal counterbalance. The ensemble cast, including Coleman Domingo and Lee Pace, suggests a robust mix of allies and antagonists, with Jamie Lawson and Emilia Jones adding emotional depth. This group's chemistry will be key. The film depends on making us care about individuals caught in a brutal system, not just the spectacle. Early reactions praise the cast's ability to ground the story's high concept with relatable performances. The film's cast brings a blend of intensity and nuanced humanity that likely elevates the narrative beyond simple action tropes. Performances probably reflect a broad spectrum of motivations, from desperation to cynicism to ambition, giving the story emotional weight. Wright's direction tends to pull naturalistic performances even amid stylized worlds, so expect moments where the characters' struggles feel real and urgent. This ensemble approach helps the film explore themes of identity and survival on both personal and systemic levels. The relationships between characters aren't just plot mechanics, they're emotional anchors that keep the story from drifting into spectacle alone. The Running Man's writing, co-crafted by Stephen King, Michael Bacall, and Wright, suggests a layered narrative structure balancing intense set-piece moments with quieter character-driven beats. The story likely follows a classic survival arc: introduction, rising stakes, confrontation, but with thematic layers about media manipulation and societal complicity. Well, themes of desperation, identity, and resistance underpin Ben's journey, especially his motivation to save his daughter, which personalizes the broader critique of systemic brutality. The writers appear to lean into questions about how far one will go when forced into the public eye as entertainment. The pacing probably mixes suspenseful action with moments of reflection, avoiding the trap of non-stop adrenaline. Structurally, the film seems to employ a tension-building rhythm that mirrors the ebb and flow of a televised survival game. Moments of explosive threat followed by strategic recalibration. This dynamic likely amplifies the emotional stakes, showing not just physical survival but psychological resilience. The writing also appears to explore the duality of public spectacle versus private pain, using Ben's character as a lens to interrogate how audiences consume violence and hardship as entertainment. Without spoiling, the narrative probably holds surprises that challenge both the protagonist and the viewer's expectations, making the story about more than just who survives, but why. Compared to other survival or reality game thrillers, The Running Man stands out for its strong directorial voice and thematic depth. It's less about pure spectacle than about the systems behind the spectacle, placing it alongside films like The Hunger Games for social critique, but with Wright's signature kinetic style. Fans of genre hybrids like Ready Player One or Snowpiercer may find familiar elements here, but the film's grounded, emotional core and sharp editing set it apart. Unlike some thrillers that prioritize twists over character, this film balances both, delivering thrills while probing the cost of survival in a media-saturated dystopia. It's a fresh take on familiar territory, with a pointed focus on identity and control. Within the sci-fi thriller landscape, The Running Man carves its niche by combining a dystopian survival game with a deeply personal story, elevated by a director known for blending style with substance. It's a film that asks audiences to consider not just the mechanics of survival, but the spectacle that surrounds it, a commentary on our own media culture. The cast dynamic interplay supports this, grounding the high-concept premise in believable human struggle. By positioning itself at the intersection of action, thriller, and social critique, it offers a layered experience that both entertains and provokes thought, a balance that's increasingly rare in blockbuster cinema. Who should watch The Running Man? If you're drawn to high-energy, socially conscious sci-fi that combines thrilling action with sharp character work, this film is likely right in your wheelhouse. Fans of Edgar Wright's stylish direction, Glenn Powell's charismatic leads, or Stephen King's storytelling will find much to appreciate. However, viewers seeking straightforward escapism without thematic weight might find the film's layered critique and pacing demanding. The film's strengths lie in its direction, performances, and thematic ambition, though its complex tone could divide audiences expecting pure genre thrills. Overall, it's a compelling, well-crafted survival thriller that rewards attention with both adrenaline and insight. The Running Man delivers a potent mix of tension, style, and substance. It's a film that challenges the audience to reflect on the media's role in shaping public perception and the cost of systemic oppression, all while serving up tightly choreographed action and emotional stakes. The collaboration of Wright's direction with King's narrative sensibilities creates a textured, engaging experience. While it may not be for everyone, it's a standout in the crowded sci-fi thriller field, blending spectacle and heart in a way that feels fresh and urgent for those willing to engage with its darker themes and fast-paced storytelling. The Running Man is a watch that resonates beyond the closing credit. Ultimately, The Running Man asks a simple but profound question. In a world that rigs the game, can you still choose your fate? Edgar Wright's film doesn't just entertain. It interrogates the systems that trap us, making us complicit in the spectacle. If you are interested in science fiction that pushes beyond action into something more reflective, this film deserves your time. Thanks for watching this deep dive here on Cut to Reel. If you want more sharp, focused film analysis, you know where to find us. See you next time. Thanks for watching Cut to Reel. I'll see you next time for another look beneath the surface of cinema's best.